didn't see you there. Now, you might have thought that was a bad throw, and that's your interpretation. But to me, a 10-time disc kicking champion, that was terrible. Anyone can have an interpretation. You can have an interpretation about your teachers, where you live, anything in general. My interpretation, John Muckelbauer is like Kramer.
His spits are fire.
I think Muckelbauer has undiagnosed ADHD.
I just don't like him. But anyways, there's different interpretations all around.
Well, what is an interpretation of the text?
Interpretation of the text is the same as a normal interpretation. It just means your own ideas and meaning of the text. For example, there's The Tiger by William Blake. What exactly is the meaning of the tiger?
I think the tiger is a representation of evil. Grr!
I think the tiger is a representation of good. Roar!
I think the tiger is a representation of good and evil, like yin and yang. Roar, it's Steve.
I think the tiger is a representation of death, and how death is going to come for all of us. And taxes. Meow!
As you see, we all have our own interpretations. But why do we have them?
I think the tiger is a representation of evil because it's clearly described as something fearsome and dreadful.
I think the tiger is a representation of good because it's a majestic animal.
I think the tiger is a representation of good and evil because, like yin and yang, there's symmetry to the tiger.
Just like each student has their own interpretation, there's personal triggers that bring them to these conclusions.
As we draw back to William Blake's The Tiger, each basis for good and evil were derived from the symbol of the forest. Some say that the forest represents a fight against good or a fight against evil. Some say the forest is the darkness which people are scared of. So how can we decipher who is right and who is wrong when both points use the same structure?
Well, this would be because each person's rules differs when it comes to interpretation. But what makes an interpretation acceptable? This is because people have different rules when it comes to interpretation.
My rule has to do with how I was taught, to have an open mind about literature.
My interpretations are similar and different from others. I often use personal triggers and personal experiences to do my interpretation of literature. For example, I wouldn't say in The Tiger that the tiger represents a fish, because that's just stupid to me. I also wouldn't say it represents a MacBook, since a MacBook is a piece of technology, and the tiger represents the duality of life.
I am an interpretational hippie. I think as long as they believe in their hearts that their interpretation is correct, then that's the correct interpretation. Now, if there is a way out their interpretation, we can just make fun of them.
My rule is just like Mary's. When an interpretation moves from a grounded argument into an expectation, the lines become blurry.
I interpret in a historical way. I often determine if something is fact or fiction when interpreting different texts.
Interpretation will save your life. So will hucking disc. Muckelbauer.
I forgot the line! Interpretate.
Sorry.
Go.
Whoa, didn't see you there. I already forgot my line.
Go.
Just like each student has their own interpretation. Oh wait, what was the second line? Sorry.
My rule has to do with the way I was taught.
Go.
Trying to be like Muckelbauer 4 lies.
Yes.